How to Train for Hypertrophy, the ultimate guide to muscle growth. Hello everyone, welcome to 10-Minute Health. Here we talk about concepts that will help you stay healthy and understand your body better in just 10 minutes every day. Today we're diving into the world of hypertrophy training. Now I know what you're thinking, hypertrophy sounds like some complex scientific term, but trust me, it's just a fancy way of saying muscle growth. So if you're ready to pack on some serious size and sculpt the physique you've always wanted, buckle up. Ready to get those gains? Let's go. Alright, let's kick things off by getting crystal clear on what hypertrophy actually is. In the simplest terms, hypertrophy is the increase in the size of your muscle fibers. Think of it like this. When you challenge your muscles with resistance training, you're essentially creating tiny micro tears in those muscle fibers. Now don't freak out, this is a good thing. Your body is incredibly smart and adaptive. It sees these micro tears as a signal to rebuild those muscle fibers stronger and, you guessed it, bigger than before. This process of repair and growth is what leads to that increase in muscle mass we're all after. But here's the catch. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes consistent effort, the right training stimulus, and of course, proper nutrition, which we'll dive into later. When you work out, your body releases growth factors. Think of them as little messengers that signal muscle protein synthesis to kick into high gear. This process uses the protein you eat to repair those micro tears and build new muscle tissue. Remember, consistency is key. Now that you understand the science behind hypertrophy, let's talk strategy. To really maximize muscle growth, you need to focus on a few key principles. Consider these the foundational pillars of your training program, the big rocks that will make all the difference. First up, we have volume. Volume simply refers to the total amount of work you're doing in a given workout or week. It's typically measured by the number of sets and reps you perform, multiplied by the weight you're lifting. Next, we have intensity. This one's all about how heavy you're lifting relative to your 1 rep max, basically, how hard you're pushing yourself. And finally, we have frequency. As you might guess, this refers to how often you're training each muscle group per week. Let's talk rep ranges, shall we? One of the most common questions I get is, Jeff, how many reps should I be doing to build muscle? And it's a great question. The number of reps you perform in each set directly impacts the type of muscle fibers you're targeting and ultimately your results. When it comes to hypertrophy, the sweet spot typically falls within the 6 to 12 rep range. Why this range, you ask? Well, it strikes the perfect balance between mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage, all crucial factors for muscle growth. Mechanical tension refers to the force being placed on your muscles, which is higher when you're lifting heavier weights for fewer reps. Metabolic stress is all about that burning sensation you get when you push your muscles to their limit. Chapter 4. Progressive Overload, the engine of muscle growth. Now let's talk about the secret sauce of muscle growth, progressive overload. This is the principle of consistently challenging your muscles with increasing demands over time. If you lift the same weight for the same number of reps week after week, your body adapts, and your muscles have no reason to grow. But when you gradually increase the weight, reps, or sets, you create a stimulus that forces your muscles to adapt and get stronger. This constant adaptation is what drives muscle growth. Progressive overload doesn't have to be drastic. Even small increases in weight or reps can make a big difference over time. The key is to focus on making progress consistently. Here are a few ways you can incorporate progressive overload into your training. 1. Increase the weight. Once you can comfortably perform all your reps with good form, bump up the weight by a small increment, say 5 to 10 pounds. 2. Increase the reps. If you're not quite ready to increase the weight, try adding an extra rep or two to each set. Chapter 5. Structuring your workouts, a blueprint for gains. Now that we've covered the key principles of hypertrophy training, let's talk about how to put it all together and structure your workouts for maximum muscle growth. First things first, you want to make sure you're training each muscle group at least twice a week. This allows for optimal protein synthesis and recovery. Next, you'll want to prioritize compound exercises. These are movements that work multiple muscle groups simultaneously, such as squats, deadlifts, rows, and presses. Compound exercises are incredibly efficient for building overall strength and muscle mass. After your compound exercises, You can then move on to isolation exercises which target specific muscle groups. Think bicep curls, tricep extensions, and calf raises. Proper form is crucial for preventing injuries and ensuring that you're effectively targeting the intended muscles. And finally, don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you. Chapter 6: Compound versus Isolation, the Ultimate Showdown. Let's settle the age-old debate: compound exercises versus isolation exercises. Which one reigns supreme for muscle growth? Well, the truth is, both types of exercises have their place in a well-rounded hypertrophy program. Compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, rows, and presses engage multiple muscle groups simultaneously, making them incredibly efficient for building overall strength and muscle mass. Isolation exercises, on the other hand, target specific muscle groups in isolation, allowing you to focus on developing individual muscles or addressing any muscle imbalances. So, which one should you prioritize? The answer is both. Start your workouts with compound exercises to maximize muscle activation and hormonal response, and then finish off with isolation exercises to target specific muscle groups. Chapter 7: Fueling the Gains Nutrition for Hypertrophy. Alright, let's talk about the other side of the muscle-building coin: nutrition. You can train your butt off in the gym, but if your diet isn't on point, you're leaving serious gains on the table. Think of your body like a high-performance machine. To function optimally and build muscle, it needs the right fuel. And when it comes to hypertrophy, protein is king. Protein provides the building blocks, amino acids, that your body uses to repair and build muscle tissue. Aim to consume around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight daily. You can get this from sources like lean meats, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy, beans, and lentils. Next up, we have carbohydrates. Carbs are your body's primary source of energy, and they're crucial for fueling your workouts and replenishing glycogen stores, your muscles' energy reserves. Don't be afraid of carbs. Choose complex carbs like brown rice, quinoa, oats, and sweet potatoes. And finally, we have fats. Healthy fats play a vital role in hormone production, cell function, and overall health. Chapter 8: Rest and Recovery. Don't neglect the other half. Now let's talk about a crucial aspect of hypertrophy training that often gets overlooked: rest and recovery. You see, muscle growth doesn't happen during your workouts. It happens when you're resting and recovering. When you train, you're breaking down muscle tissue. Rest and recovery give your body the time it needs to repair and rebuild those muscles stronger and bigger. So how much rest do you need? Aim for at least 1 to 2 minutes of rest between sets. When it comes to rest days, aim for at least 1 to 2 full rest days per week. During these days, avoid any strenuous activity and focus on active recovery, such as light walking or stretching. Getting enough sleep is also crucial for muscle growth. Chapter 9: Hypertrophy Mistakes. Avoid these training traps. Alright, let's talk about some common hypertrophy training mistakes that can sabotage your progress and keep you from reaching your full muscle building potential. 1. Overtraining. More is not always better when it comes to hypertrophy training. Overtraining can lead to fatigue, injury, and plateaus. Listen to your body and don't be afraid to take rest days when needed. 2. Poor form. Using proper form is crucial for preventing injuries and ensuring that you're effectively targeting the intended muscles. Focus on quality over quantity and never sacrifice form for weight. 3. Neglecting nutrition. Remember, you can't out-train a bad diet. Make sure you're consuming enough protein, carbs, and healthy fats to fuel your workouts and support muscle growth. 4. Not tracking progress. If you're not tracking your workouts and nutrition, it's hard to know what's working and what's not. Keep a training log and monitor your progress over time. Chapter 10: Track your progress, adjust, and conquer. Alright, we're in the home stretch now. Let's talk about how to track your progress, make adjustments to your training, and keep those gains coming. First things first, you need to have a system for tracking your workouts. This could be as simple as a notebook where you log your exercises, sets, reps, and weight, or you can use a fitness app. The key is to have a record of your workouts so you can monitor your progress over time and make sure you're consistently challenging yourself. In addition to tracking your workouts, it's also important to pay attention to how your body is feeling. Are you making strength gains? Are you recovering well between workouts? Are you experiencing any aches or pains? Based on your progress and how your body is feeling, don't be afraid to adjust your training plan as needed. There you have it, guys, the ultimate guide to hypertrophy training. Now you've got the knowledge and tools to build muscle like a pro. Remember, building muscle is a journey, not a sprint. Stay consistent, push yourself, and enjoy the process. Thank you for your attention. Now I want to hear from you. What topic would you want us to talk about next? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our new videos. Until next time, train hard, stay healthy, and keep those gains coming.